Welcome to the Best of Beaver County, presented by St. Barnabas, a weekly segment dedicated to putting the focus on the amazing things and the amazing people behind them in Beaver County. The Best of Beaver County is sponsored by and content is provided by St. Barnabas. The show airs every Thursday from 11 to 11:30 on WBVP, WMBA, 99.3 FM, and Facebook Live. Now, with no further ado, let's welcome host Mike Romigh to introduce today's program.
Good morning, and welcome to the Best of Beaver County radio show on the St. Barnabas Radio Network. Viewed by many as a visionary leader in the healthcare industry, St. Barnabas Health System is focused on offering compassionate care that increases the quality of life for our patients, residents, and retirement communities. Building upon its heritage, St. Barnabas continues to reach out to those in need and lives out its mission through individual and institutional services. Men and women are invited to join in the work of continuing Christian caring, healing, and teaching as we, along with St. Barnabas, bear witness to its founder's reminder, God is able. Providing residents, patients, and the community with opportunities to enhance their quality of life is part of our mission in the St. Barnabas Health System. The Best of Beaver County radio show will not only introduce you to successful individuals making a difference in the greater metropolitan region, but we also discuss topics meant to enlighten, entertain, and inform you. One of those people is here with us this morning, and he is Josh Kail. Josh is a state representative from the 15th Legislative District. Josh has been busy in Harrisburg as well as in the district, as well as maintaining a very loving and full family by most measures. It seems 7, I believe. I think the number is 7 children that Josh has. Josh, good morning and welcome to the program. 7, do I have that right?
7 kids, yep,
Lucky
that's
number
right.
7?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir. For now, 7.
For now, okay.
You never know, right?
Well, that's good. I mean, you're always looking towards the future.
That's right.
How was Easter for you and the family?
It was great. It was great. So we actually celebrate 2 Easters because I have family that's Greek Orthodox, and our Easter, the Greek Orthodox Easter, is actually coming up this weekend. So it's 2 separate Easters, which is wonderful. You get to eat grape leaves twice, you get to eat lamb twice, and you get to celebrate the resurrection of Christ twice. So it's all good stuff.
The second coming.
Yeah.
With 2 of them. Right. And it's kind of interesting because actually my wife is Ukraine, and so we celebrate 2 Christmases.
Okay,
We call it a little Christmas, the Orthodox Christmas. But the Easter,
January 7th. Is the
right. And but Easter, I never thought about that. The kids get 2 Easter baskets to. No, you don't.
No, we celebrate the Roman calendar, which is the Easter that is generally known. But my grandparents and some of my mother's family still celebrates this, so we go and celebrate that. That's
wonderful. It's good to keep family traditions moving.
That's right. That's right. We really enjoy staying engaged with that part of our culture, and my favorite part of it, and this is going to sound shallow, but my favorite part of it's the food. The food is so good, and my grandmother makes this lamb, and we do the grape leaves are phenomenal. My mother's grape leaves, and now my wife does them, and she does a great job with them. So it's good. It's good, and it's obviously the celebration of the resurrection of Christ is a wonderful thing, and it's what the holiday's about. But the gathering, the people, the friends, the family, it's a good time.
Well, I think that you and Representative Matsey need to come together and resurrect Nationality Days in Ambridge. Because as you talk about grape leaves, and I know Lou Pappin used to be a big part of that, and all those Orthodox churches in Ambridge along Merchant Street when they used to have Nationality Days and indulge in all those good ethnic foods, that's a part of it all.
You're so right. And that's a big part of Beaver County. I mean, Beaver County has different ethnicities across the board. And we should be celebrating that. 100% should be celebrating it. And it's a great opportunity to understand our neighbors better, but also to celebrate different cultures and different foods and different traditions. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Rob, see where it's at in Ambridge.
Very good, because they just did a lot of resurfacing and upgrading Merchant Street in Ambridge over the past couple of years.
They've done a nice job.
It'll be perfect for bringing that back as well. Yeah,
that's
bringing the
a great
community. And as we talk about family, and you talk about your grandmother and your children, it is really our responsibility. I'm a little older than you, but then to remember those traditions, to carry them on, and as you bring in your family up, remembering and hoping that they're going to keep that flame alive for next generations. That's our responsibility as parents.
It is, and it's our responsibility to teach our children who we are, who I am as a Kail, who I am as a member of this community, who I am as a Christian, what it means, and it's our job as parents to instill those types of things into our children so that they can understand it and pass it on. And obviously each generation adjusts it, and there's different things that you do and different parts of the tradition that are added on. But yeah, I mean, as parents, that's what brings stability. That's what brings confidence for a child, and I think it's important that we definitely teach our children those types of traditions so that they can carry it on as well.
Sure. We're doing the show live from Papa Duke's in... No, I'm just kidding.
I love Papa Duke's.
I know, I'm sure
gyros.
you do.
They used to make the gyros at the Greek Fest Delafipa Church, and I got to tell you, I think for the first 34 years of my life, I was there every summer. And Papa Duke's would be the ones that made the gyros. And I remember when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, my grandfather used to just keep feeding me gyros. And I'd eat 5 or 6 gyros in a sitting, and their tzatziki sauce is unbelievable. Best gyro on the planet. Best gyro on the planet.
We are talking with 15th District Legislative Representative Josh Kail, redistricting and all that stuff that's been in the news and is being followed through in Harrisburg. Tell our audience, 15th District, talk about Center, Broadhead Road and all that, and so many people know of that as the 15th District, and that's where you hail from, but it includes a lot more than Broadhead Road and parts of Monaca and Raccoon and all those areas.
Yeah, so it's changing pretty significantly. The biggest change you just mentioned, I will not have Center Township anymore. So our district office will no longer be where it is because it's no longer
So how can they take the 15th District out of Center Township?
Well,
I go back to Nick Cullifella.
It goes back, well, Nick, because before Nick was not quite, but there was someone before him as well. But it used to be where each county had at-large number of representatives, where it was not actually cut up by districts. It was just each county had. So Beaver County, I think, had 7 or 8. Actually, in the 1960s, the Speaker of the House was from Beaver County, Representative Hamilton, I believe his name was, from Ambridge area. And then, in fact, he was the one that oversaw the change, where they went from having at-large county seats for representatives, and they started drawing districts. And that's when it all started. 1967, I believe. I believe Representative Cullifella was 77. I think he got elected. Somewhere in there. But, so Center Township is no longer in my district, which is unfortunate. And I shouldn't say no longer be in my district, because it still is until December, January. It's unfortunate because I do have family ties to Center. That district obviously has ties to Center Township.
Powerful district.
That's where Center Township was kind of but it is what it is. So I picked up
but how did they do that? Because it's a growing community. I mean, it's not like people are leaving Center Township in your district. They're building.
I was actually very surprised. That was never part of any conversation anyone had with me or I had with anybody. We do have conversations. So I'll be completely transparent with you. What I was advocating for was a slight change in Washington County, because I had one township that was part of a school district, and that school district had 6 townships. So I was just a small portion of it. And I said, you know what, let me get all of this school district and get rid of this one township so that someone else can have all of that school district. Because if I have all of a school district, I can focus more on, individual school districts. So that was my ask. Center Township was never a part of any conversation as far as getting rid of it. I in fact, very interestingly, I actually put a down payment down, or not a down payment, I put an offer in on a home. We moved to Brighton about a year and a couple months ago.
Okay.
But before that, we were looking to move to Brighton, Potter, or Center because we just needed more space. We were living in a 3-bedroom home with 9 people. It wasn't quite working.
A lot of bunk beds.
Yeah. So we needed more space, and so we were looking at Brighton, Potter, Center, have a little more space. And we found a house in Center Township, and we put an offer in on it, and we didn't get it. So we ended up finding a house in Brighton, and that's where we ended up moving to.
Okay.
But yeah,
So who gets
honestly,
Center Township?
Representative Matthew gets it. So he loses Economy Borough, and he gets Center Township, and so that's the flip that happened there.
And he loses a part of then Allegheny County that was his district for some reason. It doesn't make sense that he had a part of Allegheny, you had a part of Washington.
Yeah.
You're representatives from Beaver County.
I know. And so, yes, he lost all of his portion of Allegheny County. I still have about 45% of my district's Washington County. It goes from the northwest tip of Beaver County, South Beaver Township, which is almost touches Lawrence County, all the way down the border of Ohio, then the West Virginia border, all the way down to almost the tip of Greene County. And so that's, my district is like a rectangle now on the left side of, all the way to the west part of the state.
Yeah. Because every election year, both sides say, we have too many representatives, we need to cut the size of the legislature. How can, and not just you alone, but how can any representative cover the territory and fulfill your obligations to your constituents when you're so spread out? I mean, you can't visit all those places throughout a 2-year term.
No, so I went from having 28 municipalities, townships, boroughs, to 40. I went from having 7 school districts to 11. So the district it's a large district, square mileage. You can't really go out there and knock on every door in a district like that.
Impossible.
You can get out there, but you got to find different community groups. You have to, as a representative, find ways of keeping your pulse on your community. Because if you can't do that, then you're not going to be a representative for very long. So,
and in order to do that and to cover that territory, it costs money. You need to have money to cover those areas. So, and again, when people criticize representatives that they're always fundraising, you have to.
We do have to. We do have to, and I'll tell you, it also means that I'm going to probably get a second full-time office because the district's so large for district office operations. And
you have to rely on leadership to say, yeah, we'll throw you, $1,000 a month for that office, and what kind of money is that going to get you?
You know how this works.
Yeah, it's like the mafia. You got the leaders, and you got to kiss the ring, and you say, I want part of, take this Washington County. Okay, we'll take that, but listen, you're going to give up your home district in Center Township, and you have no control over that. They make the decisions.
That one in particular is concerning, was bothering to me. I did not want to lose Center. I never knew I was losing Center, and so losing that was very disappointing, to say the least. But it is what it is, and you move on. And
redistricting, it comes along every so often, depending on who's in power, who has the most seats and stuff like that, and so everything's subject to change 2 years, 4 years, 6 years from now.
10 years. Every 10 years, you redraw the lines.
Okay. By that time, you'll have 12 kids. And State Representative Josh Kail is our guest. He is from the 15th Legislative District, which we're learning together has been changed dramatically. And now those folks, and we'll talk more about this and the power struggles and the committees, subcommittees that Representative Kail is a part of as we continue our conversation on the Best of Beaver County on the St. Barnabas Radio Network. It's been stated before that working at St. Barnabas is compassionate work with excellent career opportunities. In addition, we've heard when you enjoy what you're doing, it's not work. But don't take my word for it. Let's listen in to what motivates their employees.
Hi, my name's Susan Elleteri. I'm grateful for my nursing career and the satisfaction that excellent care brings. This alone keeps me coming back every day. When our residents look forward to seeing us and are thankful for our excellent care, it goes a long way. Keeps me coming back every day.
Find out about the exceptional career opportunities St. Barnabas has to offer by visiting stbarnabashealthsystem.com/careers for more information, or by calling 724-444-JOBS. That's 724-444-5627. Find out why St. Barnabas is apart from the ordinary.
See you, man.
And this is the Best of Beaver County radio show on the St. Barnabas Radio Network. I'm Mike Romigh, and our guest is State Representative from the 15th Legislative District, Josh Kail. We've been talking a lot about community in Beaver County and responsibilities as a legislature and some of the things that he has control over, but many things that representatives don't have control over. That's determined by leadership in Harrisburg, such as the redistricting and the constituency, the offices. He has a nice little office. What is it, the Betters Plaza up there in Center Township?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to move that out.
We are going to have to move that out. We're going to have to move to, we're looking at office space in the town of Beaver, because that's the most congested area now in the Beaver, Brighton, and it's centrally located, because I have Midland now, and also Ohioville and Industry, Shippingsport, and then the whole west side of southwest Beaver County and the western side of Washington County. So
people wouldn't realize how important that decision is, where you put your district office, because if you move it out of Center Township, people who don't know it's because of redistricting, you no longer serve that area anymore, they'll say, you know what? He turned his back on Center Township. He moved his office out of here, and now we have to go all the way to Beaver. And it happens to all of them. When somebody new comes in, they move the office into a new town, and people take that personally.
Yeah, and I get it. There's been an office in Center Township, I think, since at least the 70s. Right. For the 15th district, and it's not just that Center Township has been a part of the district. There's been an office in Center Township for that long, and it's unfortunate, but it's there's new opportunities out there. There's people that we're going to meet in different places, and it's got to make sure you keep moving and you keep listening to what people are saying and go forward.
Is it different because maybe the local office isn't as important because people aren't walking in off of the streets anymore to get their driver's license or their registrations renewed and expecting you to come back with a handful of mail to deliver to them personally?
It's not like it was from the stories that I hear. However, we do still get a decent amount of foot traffic. We do still have people that we help with rent rebates, and we help with licensing issues, and we help with all kinds of issues with the state. And people like coming into a place and sitting down and talking to us and being walked through, and we can walk them through. It's just there's more clarity in that setting, and I think people realize that. So we do still get a lot of foot traffic.
Are you, as we talk about what orders come down from above in leadership, the committees or subcommittees that you are put on, do you have any control over that, whether you're on them or off of them?
Yeah, so how it works is at the beginning of each session, after the election and before we get sworn in, we fill out a survey, basically, and the Speaker's office, the Speaker of the House, is the one that determines which committee you're on. And they ask you, like, what are your priorities? What issues do you care about? What issues are important for your district? And so, for instance, for me, the number one issue in my district across the board is energy. Just with what's going on with the petrochemical facility, with the natural gas industry, with the nuclear plant, all these different things happening with energy in my district. And so, but just because you asked to be on it doesn't mean you are. When I was a freshman, I was asked to be on the Environmental Resources and Energy Committee, and I didn't get it. It's just, there was
somebody across the state.
Exactly, seniority issues. But this year I did get it, and so as you build your seniority and build people get to know what you're about, and more importantly, in my mind, what your district cares about. They'll start responding and making sure that you're tied into the issues that you need to be tied into.
So what are you on now?
Right now I'm on energy, or environmental resources and energy, ERE. I'm on a judiciary committee, which handles a whole vast amount of issues, whether it's criminal justice reform, whether it's sentencing issues, whether it's gun laws, or a whole host of, sometimes we deal with impeachments and things like that of local officials or other officials. So I'm on judiciary. I'm on the Rules Committee, which is an interesting type of committee. It's very active, more in the May-June time frame when the budget's going through. And then I'm also on the Education Committee, which around here, big deal.
Yeah.
We have public education that we want to make sure we're doing the right things with. We have charter schools as well. We have a lot of private education here too. So we want to make sure we're getting the right policy that works out of Harrisburg for Beaver County, for this region. And unfortunately, far too often Harrisburg does seem to get it wrong, but we were working on changing that. So.
Okay, very good. Now, infrastructure is an important topic for a lot of people.
Yes.
Broadband is also been in the forefront for several years now. Where do we stand?
We are making progress, and I got to tell you, I know he's not here, and I'm not sure if you guys interview him as well, but Representative Jim Marshall is the reason why we have advancements in broadband, and that's a fact. Him and Representative Matsey, they are the co-chairs or the majority and minority chair of the Consumer Affairs Committee, which handles those issues dealing with broadband and a lot of other issues, pipeline issues, all kinds of different consumer issues, and broadband is one of them. And those two decided very early on that they were going to work together and try and do everything we can from the state level to solve this problem. Now, the state doesn't have the resources like the federal government does that to really make a stronger impact. But the federal government now is engaged, and we have teed it up in the state Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to the point where we are ready to really see some progress on this, and that's thanks to Jim Marshall.
Do you find as a representative that it's easier to get things accomplished when you can reach across the aisle? You talked about Jim Marshall and Rob Matsey working together on this broadband bill and being successful at it, rather than being a flamethrower and just trying to get attention by being the loudest voice in the room?
Yeah, and unfortunately the loudest voice at times gets the most attention, and there's a lot of, I call politics poor man's Hollywood. And the reason I say that is because there's, a trend that if you say something, whether it's intelligent or not, but if it's inflammatory, you can end up on the news, you can get interviewed, you can become a or at least in our own minds, a celebrity, right? Sure. But that doesn't get stuff done. And sometimes you do need to engage in vigorous debate. Sometimes there is a requirement that you call people, call policy out that you don't think is good at all and is very harmful. And sometimes things do get hot. And I'm okay with that, so long as it's on the basis of actual good faith arguments and actual issues that we're dealing with. This comes up a lot with energy issues. We see it a lot. There's high passions on it because there's a lot of people's livelihoods on the line. There's consumer issues that are on the line, and there's the future of our country and really the environment around us and how we can do this all the best that we can in one place. And so people have a lot of perspectives on it. But yeah, when you can sit down and just have a conversation, even if you disagree with somebody, if you can have a conversation and work with the other side, it definitely I think makes the process much more smooth. That's what it worked with broadband. The broadband issue went through without much of a hitch, because before they even really started talking about it publicly, those two individuals, Representative Marshall and Matsey, worked with stakeholders, talked with their committee, and got all the issues worked out, and they had a good product at the end of the day. That's how legislation should be done.
Yeah. You talk about energy, and the Shell plant, cracker plant, is ready to go online, and a lot of stuff going on with that. Earth Day is Saturday. I'm old enough to have had long hair and participated in the first Earth Day back in 1970 with the shell cracker plant and the different types of energy that we're looking to for now and in the future. How does that all work out, and where are we in terms of the plant?
I really believe that so I'm going to answer this too. Oh, first I'll answer where we are with the plant. They're saying it's going to be operations starting some point in June, July. Full opening, I think, and this is me talking, not Shell or anything they've told me. I'm just guessing. I think full opening, you're looking at November, December timeframe. I think, though, what Shell did and is doing there, I think what you're seeing with our natural gas industry, I think with what you're hearing out there about carbon capture and hydrogen energy, I think Pennsylvania, particularly Western Pennsylvania, has the opportunity yet again to be the heroes in the narrative of not just United States history, but also world history. I mean, we built this country with our steel here. It was our grandparents and our fathers that were in the steel mills that made the steel. We really, Western Pennsylvania has more veterans per capita than any other area in the country. We were instrumental in World War II in conquering the Nazis. I think with this energy and climate dilemma that we are seeing, we have the answers as well. Pennsylvania natural gas burns cleaner than any other energy source, any other reliable energy source on the planet. And our manufacturers produce less carbon than any other manufacturers that do it broadly just about on the planet, particularly with China and India and Russia. Our biggest issue right now is the carbon being emitted from those places. We need to encourage our producers to produce, our manufacturers to manufacture, because they do it right and they're the best at it in the world. And that's the way I think we can have a policy that's grounded in reality, that helps our wage earners, that also helps our environment, because we're cognizant of these issues and we're going to ensure that these manufacturers are as well.
You said three words in your answer there that brings me to another topic that's very important. Veterans, recognition, and honor. And Beaver County has all of them. And you have an event coming up, a Veterans Recognition Breakfast, that is going to pay homage to those who we lost and those who remain, and the proud heritage of Beaver County and veterans.
Yeah, so we're having a Veterans Breakfast, and it's going to be April 29th in Brighton Township. You can get more information. We have flyers at our office and also online. It's going to be really about honoring our veterans, honoring those that have served, and we can never forget the sacrifice that these individuals have put in to so that we can enjoy the freedoms that we have. And in this region, it's one of the things that I knew that being a veteran was very important to this region, but I didn't realize the actual numbers until I got in office and started looking at it. But you can go to the Beaver Cemetery during Memorial Day or really a lot of times in the area, and you can see all the flags. You see all the military flags. It almost will bring you to tears to see all the service and dedication that we have in this region. So as someone that is not a veteran, I like to do everything that I can to make sure that these individuals feel appreciated. April
29th, Veterans Recognition Breakfast. Do they call your office? Do they call someplace to get in touch to
I'm going to
participate?
I'm going to try and pull. There is an RSVP that we're supposed to get. Let me.
Well, we can have them call your office.
Yeah. Call the office. It's at the Schultz Lodge, which is 1925 Gypsy Glen Road. Right there in Brighton Township, and it starts at 9 to 11. And call the office, 724-728-7655.
Very good. Josh Kail, State Representative, 15th District. Good seeing you again.
Great seeing you always.
All right, thanks for the update and all the information. Thank you for watching and listening to the Best of Beaver County radio show on the St. Barnabas Radio Network.
Thank you for listening to the Best of Beaver County. St. Barnabas is pleased to have provided content and sponsorship for the program. Tune in this Sunday at 11:30 for an encore presentation of today's program on Beaver County Radio. And next Thursday at 11 for another edition of the Best of Beaver County on WBVP, WMBA, and 99.3 FM.